Hi, welcome to this month's celebration of our newest team coordinators. That's you. And I want to wish you a very special congratulations for taking that step in your leadership legacy. And during this call, I'll take some Q&A. It's probably my favorite part. But what I hope to do is to be able to share with you how I believe you got to this point in your Norwex career, how to enjoy where you're at right now, and how to set your sight forward on growing more. But I wanted to bring to your attention first off something that should excite all of the newly promoted team coordinators for the first time. You know you're eligible now for a $100 promote and grow bonus. Now, most of you on this call would have promoted July 1st. In order to be eligible to receive this during the month of July, you'll want to be sure that you are paid at your new title of team coordinator. And then in August, around the 6th or 8th, you will see an additional $100 bonus deposited into your account, your banking account. And that is because you earned it. You received your Promote and Grow bonus. You'll also be featured in the impressions with your name as having earned this reward. So congratulations to you. And I hope you spoil yourself with that $100, something that is meaningful for you. Don't buy groceries. Don't fill up the car with gas. Go pick out something that has meaning for you so that you can mark the occasion of how Norwex is part of your journey in life, and these milestones along the way hold some significance for you. That's my personal opinion. All right, so let's get started. I want to share with you a quote from Debbie Bolton. You will probably see this quote many times, and that's because it's from Debbie's heart, and I think it has a very personal message for each one of us, no matter where we're at in our business. And she says that leadership can be defined as many things. But for us here at Norwex, it's truly about creating our legacy as we help others create theirs. Leadership is your opportunity to make something extraordinary happen in your life and the lives of others. You are changing your world, and you are changing their world, one home at a time, one new consultant at a time. Isn't that wonderful? And that's what leadership is. You know, great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They truly set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It was always about the goal. And I wonder if that is the case for you as you look at becoming a team coordinator. And here you are, you have a team of at least 3 consultants. And what I like about that, if I could just indulge you for a moment, I think something shifted for you. And I think more things will start to shift for you. What do I mean? I use this example all the time. If I were to have met you maybe 3 months ago at the grocery store checkout, and a natural conversation evolved, and somehow we got talking about what each one of us did. Oh, so what do you do? I stay home and take care of my lovely kids, or, oh, I work part-time at a dentist office. So we have this little chit chat, and at some point, you probably, hopefully, let me know that you were involved with Norwex. And this is actually called Network Marketing 101, being out and about in real life situations. So I'm not talking about chasing people down in a parking lot. I'm talking about how naturally Norwex comes into conversations. So I would have asked you 3 months ago, oh, what is Norwex, or what do you do? You might have responded with, oh, I sell Norwex. We clean without chemicals. I'll help you clean using just microfiber and water. Now, that's good. I mean, it may or may not have intrigued me. But today, if I met you at a grocery store, today, here's what I hope your answer would be. And I want you to notice the shift. So I say, hey, and so tell me about Norwex. What do you do? I'm so glad you asked. What I love about what I'm doing right now with my Norwex career, I actually help launch other, mostly women, into a home-based business where our mission of reducing chemicals in the home has us out and about in our community, teaching others about alternatives to harmful chemicals that are lurking in everybody's cupboards. We do home parties, and along the way, I have inspired other people to join me in our mission who have become consultants alongside me. And in fact, since we're talking, I'd love to introduce you to Norwex, either inviting you to my home, because each month I host an open house party, if you will, for people that I meet that I immediately connect with so that I could show them Norwex products if they're interested. I could offer you a date to book your own Norwex get together, or I could right away give you information to know more about what I'm doing that is helping protect our environment, change the way we clean, and at the same time saving families a lot of money and time. Bazinga! What do you think? Did you notice that? Now, no, I don't have a script. Don't ask me for my script. My eyes were closed and I was speaking from my heart. Because what I wanted you to recognize, and yes, I do this a lot, so maybe my first go around is a little easier than you'll find it. But the shift I wanted you to notice was I went from telling you that I sold Norwex to sharing with you that I help other women, other people. There could be a man on this call, and we welcome you with open arms, but 90% of our industry is female. And so I tend to use the female terms, but not to exclude anyone. But I use now as a leader, I absolutely know that what I can do is I can help launch someone else into this business. You see, when I was a consultant, what I absolutely knew was that I could show you how to take butter off a mirror with my EnviroCloth. I knew that, and I would tell you that. But now as someone who has had at least 3 people decide that the experience they want from Norwex is that of a consultant, and you took care of making that happen for them, your role has not changed, your role has evolved. That brings me to my next point before we get started. In no way will you ever be personally responsible for the level of success that your new consultant reaches or doesn't reach. I understand that when we bring someone along, we want the best for them. We want them to experience what we're experiencing. But sometimes life happens for other people, and someone who came in with great ideas of how they were going to save the world, earn a lot of money, and all of a sudden that big balloon popped, something happened, they changed their mind, their focus shifted, and all those hopes you had for someone have disappeared. And sometimes we take it personally, like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Well, I'm here to tell you, you did nothing, because that's just real life. And as much as, and I say this on the new consultant calls, we can teach people a lot. We can provide them the lessons for the skill. But what we can't do, for the most part, is truly inspire them to take action. We can encourage, we can motivate, we can tease, we can embrace, but at the end of the day, you and I do not control someone's feet. They do. And so we can't take full responsibility if someone says, well, it wasn't good for me. I didn't ever have a party. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me what steps you took to try and make that happen. The point is, one of the early lessons of leadership that I want you to embrace is you can help people to understand the things to do that bring about your success, but you can't give them or promise them success. That they have to do for themselves. What I'm hoping by sharing that with you right away is that your shoulders have relaxed and you think, wow, Sheila, Thanks for telling me that, because I didn't quite know to what extent am I responsible. And I want to tell you that your responsibility when you launch someone into their home-based business is to share with them what you know, the things you did, both good and bad, point them in the direction of the resources, and then they must take action. And so, that being said, the other lesson to recognize right away is you'll always want to be adding new people to your team because of what I've just shared. Because we cannot always predict other people's level of interest in Norwex. And that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Some people might become a consultant and realize, I was much more suited to be a great host, and that's okay. So I just want you to recognize some of those things right away. Now, you see, I think how you got here today was that it's not any different than when you became a Norwex consultant. Even if you can't exactly wrap your head around it just yet, just bear with me. You see, the first steps of Norwex leadership, being a team coordinator, are not unlike the first steps you took when you became a Norwex consultant. At that point, belief was probably the first feelings you ever identified with. You believed in the Norwex products as a consultant. You believed in the Norwex mission as a consultant. And because you joined Norwex as a consultant, you believed in the Norwex opportunity. And so as a consultant, you were looking for people with whom you could share that enthusiasm with. And you soon discovered that there were 3 levels of experience that people are looking for when it comes to Norwex. Now, the easiest one, the one that's sort of right there in front of you as always, is the experience of being a customer. Many people who see Norwex for the first time are very interested to buy it, to have it, to own it, to use it. So they love the customer experience. But for some, that's just not enough. You see, they've already started thinking about people in their life that they need to share Norwex with. Their Aunt Mary, their cousin Libby, their friend Susan, their sister Maggie. And so being a host is so appealing to them because they've already got a guest list forming in their head. Oh, they might not know it to be a guest list, but there's a group of people that are in their mind that they're thinking they got to know about this. So the experience of hosting is very attractive to them and fills a need. And then, as your belief strengthened and your confidence strengthened, you recognized that there was yet a third person in your audience, someone just like you. Someone who loved the products, yes, was going to use them and have them in her home, and yes, would share it with the people closest to her, but in fact, it went a little deeper. It was like, I could get behind these products. I could stand and support that mission. It's something I believe in, and the opportunity to do good work, along with providing a reliable source of income for my family, is exactly what I'm looking for. And so as a consultant, you were looking at people now a little different, recognizing the different levels of experience that would be attractive to them. And you weren't shy in recognizing that. And you started to put this group together. There you were, and you started to put your group of 3, your team of 3 together. And when that happened, you had to be thinking, your belief was strengthening about what were the benefits of being a Norwex consultant. And because you're in front of so many people, you started thinking, well, what are some of the signs that someone would make a good consultant, that they're interested? Could it be the gal that had a lot of questions? Could it be the gal that lingered behind at the party? Was it the gal who was all over the product and just wanted to take it all? Was it someone who made a comment that what a great job this looks like? And you recognized that everyone could become a great consultant. They really just needed a smile, a willingness to connect with people, and a willingness to learn a few things. And when you recognize that people were actually being attracted to you as a leader, as the person that would help them into Norwex, you started looking at, well, what if I promoted to team coordinator? What if I could become a leader and have a team of Norwex consultants doing the same work that I'm doing? And now today, once you became that team coordinator, nothing has changed except things are happening and growing. And so as you put together your team and made sure that in order to promote, everyone did 250 to be engaged that month, you probably recognized, well, that's just half a party, Sheila. That's hardly anything. And I would absolutely agree with you. 250 engaged is a couple of orders. I'm not even sure it's a party. But the point is, understanding now, connecting with people, your team is going to keep on growing. And guess what? Not only will you be growing your team, but other consultants will be growing your team as well. Because what you're going to start to recognize, and I go back to this slide, is that now as a team coordinator, you will still be looking for people with whom you can share your enthusiasm with, because we're thinking of the 4-2-2 party success formula. You're still looking for customers and hoping to excite them with the product. You're still looking for hosts who want to partner with you. And you are looking for Norwex consultants to strengthen and build your team. But now, from your consultant base, you will probably start to recognize people again who are just like you, who recognize that they have started to take on this belief system that there is more work to be done and the need for more consultants. And what happens is they look to you as a team coordinator, and they in fact themselves might be inspired by you to take their next step. And that is truly how your team will grow and evolve. Now, as I said, to promote, you, along with 3 of your personal recruits, some of you might have 4 or 5 recruits at this point, but 3 of them had to be engaged along with you in the same month. So half a party. But all the benefits of being a team coordinator, for me, I'd like to call it right now that it truly is the paycheck of the heart. I mean, if you think about 3% commission on $250, I've got a calculator in front of me, and that's $7.50. I mean, it's hardly enough money to buy a tube of lipstick, isn't it? So I call it the paycheck of the heart. The knowing that you are building something, that you are planting a tree in your life of opportunity. And if you nurture it, the tree will grow big and give back to you. Like a tree would give shade, your tree would give back to you in terms of the fruits of your labor, so to speak. So be mindful that you'll always, which is the beautiful thing about Norwex, always your 35%. But you start earning 3% commission on the sales of your personal recruits. Now, some of you might have a personal recruit who was selling, $2,000 in a month. She's doing 4 parties. That's $60. Now that's a pedicure. But it's more than that. You know that when you help your personal recruits achieve their Fresh Start Level 1, Norwex thanks you with a $150 shopping spree. And when you help your personal recruit qualify in their first 90 days, in other words, earning their kit for free, some do it in 60 days as the Fresh Start 2 bonus and receive a package of beautiful products, step 3 of their Fresh Start program. Others take the full 90 days, but when they qualify in order to earn their kit for free, Norwex further thanks you, the recruiter, with an additional $300 shopping spree. That is $450 in shopping spree money that is available to you each and every time you are successful with launching a new consultant who achieves her Fresh Start Step 1 and qualifies herself to earn her kit for free. That is outstanding. Why do I bring that up now? Well, because this is a benefit that lasts your whole career, but more importantly, as a new team coordinator, these shopping sprees can be wonderful ways for you to use your own efforts without any additional cost to start having products that you can reward or gift in a very small amount to some of your outstanding consultants if that's the choice you make. You might belong to a sales leader group, a red jacket group, an upline that have monthly meetings. And as part of someone else's downline, you all might be included in recognition. But it doesn't stop you from recognizing the efforts of your small group and using some of your shopping spree dollars as a way to acknowledge and thank outstanding results. Well, now it costs you nothing to perform that recognition. So just an idea about ways to start building that team culture that you would want to have, particularly when you hit sales leader and beyond to executive sales leader and above. You can start now with a group of 3 or 4. And so you'll always have opportunities for those sales and recruiting incentives. Now, sometimes people ask me, well, Sheila, I know what I did to get there, but how do I make sure I don't lose it? Or how do I retain status? Or in the instances of the promote and grow bonus, which is something that you would be eligible for, in order for you to receive that bonus in August, you have to make sure that you have submitted a minimum of $250 this month and that each of your 3 personal recruits are active. So easy enough to do. If I know that your personal recruits will be active because they just submitted $250 in June in order for you to promote. So they should all still be active. So what's really important is your own level of performance, putting in a half a party. Minimum of $250. But let's go back to the definitions. Engaged. We use that term that acknowledges a consultant has submitted $250 in that month. Active is when we look at a consultant over a rolling 3-month period and the computer, if you will, tries to find a total of $250 submitted during that rolling 3-month period. Now, if you do not, and of course inactive is when that rolling 3-month period, there is not 250, and so there's 3 more months of inactivity, at which any time the moment she submits 250, she's engaged again. But when a consultant hits a 6-month period, a rolling 6-month period, where the computer cannot find the sum total of $250, that consultant is considered dormant. And so once a consultant is considered dormant, in order to have her ordering privileges reinstated, she must pay a reactivation fee of $19.99. You heard me talk about qualified personal consultant. We don't normally use that term unless it relates to any of our trip incentives or our awards plan year where we recognize leaders for the highest number of qualified personal consultants that have joined, that they have personally enrolled, signed up in the last annual awards year. Group. It includes all personal recruits and downline up to the point of breakaway. I wanted to share that with you because right now, you as a TC with your team are all part of your sales leaders group. But the minute you decide that the next step of your journey is to become a sales leader, you will break away from your sales leader and you will break away and now be your own group as a sales leader. Make sense? So enough about all of those technical things, but I do love to share them. I'm going to take a look at the question and answers to see if anyone had any comments. Okay, I have a question to ask you. Would you mind telling me if you thought that that was useful, helpful information to sort of give you an overview of the career plan where you're at right now? I would love to see some comments because I like to make this interactive because this is for you and I want to be able to meet your needs while you're joining me on the call today. Well, I know you're all there. Good, thank you, Carolyn. She said it was very useful, especially how to maintain TC. Helpful knowing that my downline success is not on me, although I feel part of it is. Thank you, Emily. Useful and helpful. Any suggestions on pulling a consultant out of a rut? I'll get to that. Breakaway is confusing sometimes. Stacy said helpful. So if you look at it this way, I always say, and I love to be so real when I have these conversations, I want permission to speak freely. I want to talk to you about the career plan. If we were in person and I was standing in front of a room with you or around a kitchen table, I would say to you, I want to talk to you about our career plan as if it was mothers and pregnant daughters. All right? So please take me with a grain of salt. Right now, as a team coordinator, you are your sales leader's daughter. You are still living in her house. You've gone ahead and had a few children. And at this point, some of your children might have already had a baby. So you and your group are still living in your mom's house, your sales leader. And your mom's house is on a big estate because she's actually living on her mom's house. And on this big estate, every time a young new mom has 10 kids, they get their own house on the estate. They get their own group. And so when you promote out to sales leader, because you've had 10 consultants, and 5 of which must be personal recruits, and 5 can be either your personal recruits or they can be the recruits of anyone in your little group. So you can either do all 10 yourself or do 5 and hope that your team is also doing some team building with you. But once you promote to sales leader, you get your own house on the estate, which means, you've got your own house, your kids have bedrooms, and you've got a kitchen table, but you go on over to mom's house maybe for Sunday dinner, and every couple of months the whole clan gets together for a big backyard barbecue. You're still all connected, but now you're the mom of your own house. You have broken away from mom, and now you're the mom with your own house. Does that make sense when I explain the career plan like that? And to promote to sales leader, just like a team coordinator, 10 consultants and you must be engaged that month. You all must do half a party, because really, 250 is half a party. All right, so I like to explain how not 10 active, 10 engaged. Engaged, yes. And then to keep them active. All right? So, if I got a little more technical with how you got there, even if you didn't know it, you really were following the party formula. Now, I don't know how many parties each of you particularly do, and I do hope that 1 a week or 4 a month is somewhere on your radar as being the pace you want to set as the leader. The pace you want to set as a leader. You know, when I talk to new consultants about 422, I often talk about 4 shifts a month. 4 part-time shifts a month, and can earn about $700. There's no better part-time job out there, I think. And so we talk in terms of one a week. And so I hope for you that is still very much the pace that you're working towards or more. Now, here's what happens. As a team coordinator, if you were to say to me, Sheila, I don't need to be the best, but I don't want to be the worst. Just tell me, what does a good team coordinator, how do I know if I'm solid? How do I know if I'm on pace with a lot of the other team coordinators? What's the benchmark? I would say this is it. 4 parties a month. And from there, and it still could be a skill you are still honing in on and learning, but you know that in order to maximize your efficiency, you want to walk out of every party with bookings on your calendar. That's how you want to create your business momentum while you're at the party. You also know that having conversations, I did not say interviews, but conversations now as a team coordinator, you actually have a team, that you need to have about 2 of those from every party so that you end up with the likeliness of having at least one new person say, yes, I'd love to join your team. So your recruiting conversations, if you will, at your party, take on a different approach. Very much the same, but different. Could you imagine using your power statement as you open up your party, saying something like this? Now, just bear with me. I do these calls so much now I got to get it in my head, the power statement. You know, I'm so excited to be here at Libby's party today, and thank you, Libby, for getting us together. Libby and I both feel we have something rather terrific to share with you and inspire you with about clean, safe living. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. I became a Norwex consultant because creating a safe haven for my family was important, and I discovered that it was too good to keep for myself. So knowing that there were lots of people I could share this with, I became a consultant. But my journey has taken me to the next step. Not only am I helping families like you here tonight create your own safe haven, I've also recognized that I am able to and have been helping other people, mostly women like yourselves, into not only a safe haven home, but what I like to call a safe haven business. You see, I'm building a team of consultants who will do this great work that I'm doing in our community. And so tonight, I just want to invite each and every one of you to take a closer look at what I'm doing in case something speaks to your heart about joining our mission. Bazinga! Done. Okay? Because now you're a leader. And because we already said at the beginning, you know how to onboard and enroll people and launch them. And now you get to share that as part of your story. So I want to go back a bit on how can you influence the outcome of your party. And you're probably thinking, Sheila, why are you not telling me how to deal with the gal on my team who's unmotivated, or this gal? Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'll get there, but I really want to make sure that your personal business is where you want it to be. You see, I'm all about the fact that as the leader, you set the pace. And when you come from a place of having your business right where you want it to be and it feels good, you naturally become the trainer and the coach from your own experience. And nothing will ever feel as good and feel as much integrity is when, instead of about reading about how to help your consultants, you use your own personal experience. So I'm all about making sure that you feel you've got a good handle on your parties, because that's what you're going to share with your consultants. So if I look at your business as a team coordinator and also thinking about the consultants on your team, how do we influence the outcome of our party? Just because there's this formula that says, Sheila says that this is the pace, of a good, consistent consultant, 4 parties a month, getting and working at getting. I understand it can be a process of improving our past performance. To go from never getting a booking at any party to getting 3 in 1 month from 4 parties is exceptional. And so we build on our past performance to take us to where we need to go. Just like recruiting conversations. I recognize that 2 per party is not what's happening for everybody. They're working towards it. But I want to comment on how can you influence that outcome? Why do I say that 2 bookings at every party or 2 recruiting conversations at every party? And you're probably saying, Sheila, where are the magic words? Come on, give me that script. And I'm going to say to you, whoa, hold on. I need to get inside your head first before we even think about what to say, because I need to know what you think before you worry about what you speak. And here's why. Bookings, recruiting conversations. Honestly, why do you think someone would book a party? What is your personal belief about our host benefits, our host plan, and hosting a get-together? Do you think it's easy? Do you think people are excited to come to a Norwex party? When is the last time you held a party? Have you ever held a party for another party plan company just to get the experience of being host coached to having a great party? Or did you say, oh, I'm too busy for that. I don't do parties. No, I don't have people over to my house. My husband doesn't like it. My kids are too crazy and noisy. My house is too small. I do parties at other people's house, though. I'm going to say to you, whoa, look, I get there's exceptions to every rule, so to speak. I get that there could be some very, very valid reasons out there. But for the majority of us, my thought today is, if you expect to build a business and help other consultants build a business based on an activity, i.e. hosting, that you yourself are not prepared to do for whatever reason, that could become a problem for you. Because where's the integrity? So you have to believe that holding a Norwex get-together is as easy as throwing on a pot of coffee, counting up the number of chairs around your kitchen table, buying a package of oatmeal cookies and putting them on a plate, picking up a phone and saying, Mary, I'm having a Norwex get-together. You absolutely have to come. It's on Thursday night at 7 p.m. and your attendance is important to me because I've discovered so much about Norwex, and to me it's a gift I'm sharing with you of information to help you change some of the things you're doing at home. It'll be fun, it'll be fast, and I bake great oatmeal cookies. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So tell me you're coming. That's it. That's it in a nutshell, isn't it? It's fun. People love to hang out with friends. I get how social we are, but have we lost the art of conversation, belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, sitting around with our neighbors and friends and getting reacquainted? Oh, Sheila, I haven't seen you in 2 years. You've lost weight. Or having someone say, your hair looks fabulous. When did you cut it short? Oh, 6 months ago. The fact that our host is safe havening her home for just about free. And what about those of us who like to be the first to broadcast, to share good news with other people? And a Norwex party can be fast. You can bring everything you need in a bucket and call it a bucket party. In and out in 30 minutes. Get that lemonade going, Mary, because I'm going to be done in 30 minutes. We're just going to pull things out of a bucket tonight, and we're going to see what we can clean. And don't we leave people full of great information? If nothing else, we make them curious. All right, now you can guess the next one, recruiting conversations. Your belief. Well, why would someone join? You know why you joined, and I hope you know why the the people that you've recruited, I hope you know why they joined. And it is okay if somebody said, I joined for the free kit. I joined because I wanted to shop at a discount. I joined because I thought it would be a bit of a joke. My friends were egging me on. Those are all valid, good reasons. But there's other reasons, like, this is a product I could really stand behind. Your purpose of your company, that mission to reduce chemicals, speaks to me in a strong way. I want to be involved. The idea of adding income to my family's finances is very appealing and oh so needed. I'd like to get out and learn some skills and be comfortable talking to others. I feel I need some personal growth. I've been cooped up too long. I don't get out and I'm not very social, and I need to learn how to connect with adults again. Or my life is crazy. I need something fun. I need an outlet for myself. I've been so busy raising kids and taking care of everybody else, I forgot what it was like to just live and have fun. Those are reasons. And so when you believe that hosting a Norwex party is a wonderful experience, and that for some, joining Norwex as a consultant is a wonderful experience, I think you'll find the words to say, the conversations to have that are genuine. And so party talk for you, at 4 parties, give or take, I'm thinking you were in front of about 40 people. And when your party schedule is really solid, you're confident to invite your host to join you, aren't you? Look, I get it. If I had to scrounge around for parties, the last person I would invite to join me would be my host, because right now that host is my pipeline to parties. So I would hope she enjoys being a host, because I need her right now. I'm being absolutely honest with you all. But if I don't struggle for bookings, and I know what I said just sounds really selfish, but I do understand that sometimes you can recruit all your hosts and you have no bookings on your calendar and you wonder what you just did. So I'm telling you to be cautious initially if your parties aren't where they're at. I'm not telling you to be exclusive, but I understand the need to keep your party schedule going. And so my hope is you have enough parties on your schedule that you never need to take that viewpoint, that offering the opportunity to your host is the natural first person you look towards. And then you bring recruiting packages with you to your parties. And by the way, a recruiting package to me is the same thing as your host package. No success builder in either one of them, but always put the Norwex opportunity brochure in your host packages anyways. So why don't you just bring 4 packages to your party? 4 business. No, I got it. I'm having an aha moment. I would have 4 bags. They would be the Norwex bags I could buy for $1 or whatever we sell them for. I'd have 4 bags standing up by my checkout, and I would call them my Norwex experience bags. And I would point them out to people probably somewhere during my party and say, you're probably wondering what those bags are over there. They are gifts of sort, but they're gifts you would select. You see, those are my Norwex experience bags. Those bags are for the experience of hosting or for the experience of being a consultant. And when I visit with each one of you tonight to make sure that Norwex is meeting your needs, that we've gotten you the right products for the right job in your home, you'll have an opportunity to take home an experience. Buzzinga! I wish I had recorded that. See, I love these calls. That was beautiful. That was wild. I'm going to listen to that again on the recording. You got to love that. You got to love that. Okay, I do. Okay, now in case any of you were asleep, now I got to see if anyone's writing in saying, oh my gosh, Sheila, that was great. You all can still hear me, right? Am I just talking to myself, or are you all? Oh, good. You're still there. Okay, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Look, I'm the first person to tell you when I think I have a great idea. Oh, yeah. That was just amazing. What do you put in it? Well, let's think about it for a moment. catalog order forms, opportunity brochure, host and customer special, maybe some product quick guides so that I don't have to give away all my catalogs at that point, or top 10 products. And those are my experience bags. You can experience that as a host, and you can experience it as a consultant because of what it contains. The truth is, I'm going to deliver that experience when I talk to her. Oh, I just love it. Love it. Okay, moving along. Now, someone made a comment, I don't always get 10 people at a party. You're right. Some great parties are 3 or 4. So I'm thinking over the average of 4 parties. You might have 40. But let me step back a moment. Let's say you've looked at your parties and you have on average 6 people attending every party. So 4 parties, 6 people, you're in front of 24 people every month. You have a couple of options. And remember, we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for progress. Do you think 6 people at the party is an issue? In other words, do you think that even your hosts would like to have 8 people at her party? If so, then part of the issue is host coaching and helping her get creative with her guest list. Do you think that in your neighborhood, your community, 6 is an outstanding number to have at a party? Then do you maybe need to do 5 parties a month to get the results you want, or 6 parties a month to get the results? Okay? Now, I talk about the power statement just to lighten it up here. I make sure that power statements just don't end with being an announcement. They become an invitation. And so when you're finishing those 3 thoughts, and of course you heard me say what I love most about what I'm doing is, well, it changed from being a consultant, didn't it, to becoming perhaps a team coordinator. What I love most about what I'm doing is connecting with people who would like to do what I do as a consultant and would consider looking at some information and in fact joining the team of consultants at Norwex. And the reason I'm really excited about telling you this is I've got a picture here of all the things that come in our kit. And I'd love for you to see how generous but mindful Norwex is in helping consultants like myself get out in our communities and make a difference. I invite you to take a look now. Something like that. So a power invitation. This comes from Sarah Van Hardingsveld, a Red Jacket leader in Canada, back when I was in RSM doing some leader meetings. You know, we've got power statements now. We've got the power question. Well, she gave me the power line. Sometimes we don't have time for all of that, do we? We just look at somebody, there's an instant connection, and we go, well, wouldn't it be amazing if you became a consultant and joined me in my mission? So someone's going on about, I love what you do. I love what your company stands for. Well, depending on your personality, depending on the situation, I'll just use my personality. I might look at her and say, call me crazy. Call me crazy. Let me jump right to it. Wouldn't it be amazing if you would at least consider looking at the Norwex business as a consultant doing what I do, and you said yes and started right away? Like, wouldn't that be just crazy? Sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it? Wouldn't it be wonderful? Wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be terrific? Wouldn't it be spectacular? Wouldn't it be fun? Whatever, okay? So you got a quick power line. Now, I want to take a moment because part of this call that I did today, which I know I talk a lot because I just love to, and I'm so sorry, but I also like to support you because I know what life is like in reality. Sometimes you ask and invite someone either to, whether it's a customer, to host, to join, to book a party, anything to do with your business, okay? And sometimes when we ask somebody something, the answer that comes back just throws us for a loop. Did not see that coming. Blow me over with a feather, right? Like way out of left field. I got to tell you my personal experience. There are occasions, I'll grant you that right now, not many, but I've thought of many times in my career when I could be giving a workshop and somebody would say something that just rocked my world. I didn't see that coming. It could have even been negative. It could have been a complaint. It could have been something just nasty. Could have been a negative Nelly. Or it could have been the saddest story that brought me to tears. And I used to stumble because I did not know what to do or say. I needed to compose myself. So I started practicing in my head that and now you're going to recognize it sometimes with me. Anytime you hear me speak, you'll think, oh my gosh, Sheila just said those magic words. But I learned to bridge some time with what was just said to me and formulating how I was going to respond. Because sometimes I would say things that I shouldn't, or sometimes I just didn't know what to say. So I discovered a few phrases that I could immediately pop out of my mouth that gave me time to get it together. And so if it was something, you can hear the scenarios. I could say, wow, thank you for sharing that with me. Or let's say someone said something that wasn't nice about I was doing a meeting. And I could look at her and I'd say, Mary, I am so glad you told me that. I had no idea that comment was offensive. My apologies. Do you see what I mean? Or I connect with somebody and we're really connecting. And I want to talk about something further. Wow, I'm so glad you said that. We've got things in common already. Do you have 5 minutes? Or someone tells me how nervous or scared they are, or uncomfortable they are, or awkward, whatever. And I would say, if it's genuine and true, I can remember feeling the very same way. I really understand. Or I had the same experience. Or I found myself thinking the same thing. Give you an example. You're at a party. Customer, the one in every crowd who holds up your Enviro cloth and says, what a rip-off this Norwex is. $20 for this piece of material that I can get at the dollar store? Well, what do you want to say to that? Here's what I would say. Bernice, is your name Bernice? Oh, Bernice, nice to meet you. Listen, Bernice, guess what? Do you know at my first party, I found myself thinking the same thing you are right now? But can I share with you what I discovered? Can you hang on a bit and let's see if I can't help you get to the understanding the place that I got to about our cloths? Bazinga! Okay, I wanted to help you because as you become a leader, connecting with people and developing your communication skills will be important to you. And I don't like to think we all live in a perfect world. I also know that there's situations that demand us to think on our feet and to be courteous and polite. But as you help your new consultants start, I hope you know to send them on the new consultant training calls, but don't shy away from doing your own. You can use the new consultant start checklist. It's very much the things covered on the call, but why I'm really bringing this to your attention today is, although I'm not one for scripts, I did provide a few scripts here. And here's an example of someone who would say to you and what you could say to them. Now, I don't know if you can read it because I can barely read it, but you've got it in online and in the leadership guidebook. Here goes. A new consultant says to you, I really only want to use the products personally and just share with family and friends. Here's my response. Maybe I can make it bigger. Oh yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It really helps me to understand how best to support you. The good news is that Norwex is so easy to share with family and friends. If you treat them like customers, you'll be surprised at how much success that just might bring you. You'll be helping those closest to you create their own safe havens, and that's going to feel so good. All right? Or a new consultant that says, well, you know what? You read it because I'm going to strain my eyes. I gave you 4 scenarios of what a new consultant on your team might be thinking and 4 things you could say in your own way as a response to help you. I wanted to just be mindful of the fresh start, to encourage your new consultants not to do $250, but to do $400 and earn their fresh start step 1. The easiest way to encourage your consultants to know that Norwex is successful is to help position them in a place where they feel immediate success. And the $400 step 1 and the reward of all those products is an affirmation for them that they made a good decision being involved with Norwex. And likewise for any of the other shopping sprees. So there's a checklist that I just want to sort of close with before we get to questions. You know, you are doing all these things. You're expanding your network beyond family and friends to widen your booking circle. So you're going to keep your Frankie list always updated. The goals in your leadership growth plan, well, we talked about them, 422, when we talked about how to get those bookings and conversations on the calendar, because we went inside our head to look for the answers, that we knew that it was all based on our belief, and that we had to recommit ourselves or reopen ourselves to our belief system. It just makes the words flow. And the 5 fundamentals. Well, in that book that I'll just briefly show you, it talks about leading with a vision. I think you have a vision already of cultivating a team, and perhaps your vision includes sales leader and beyond. Keep hold of that vision. And you're going to build your team by holding parties and inviting new people to join your team and to helping them off to start strong. But remember, you're not responsible for their success in the Fresh Start program. That is their responsibility. They must bring their feet. They must bring their feet to the action plan. And down the road, could be next month, could be today, could be 2 months, you will start to recognize other talent on your consultant team of people where you recognize yourself. And so this is what the Leader Development Guide book looks like. It'll be coming in the mail. You might have gotten it already. And I want to caution you that as much as you want to read everything in that book, and I encourage you to, it's the same thing I tell consultants with their new consultant guide and the back office. You can read about as much as you want. You can read everything and study everything and feel very learned in your role as a consultant or a leader. But I'm going to suggest to you that your skill and confidence will always come from doing, not from knowing. If we truly see ourselves as being the students in our business, I remind you to step out of the classroom and go on field trips frequently to get that real experience. That's how your skill gets strengthened. So, I hope you enjoyed today. Yes, it was long, but boy, oh boy, it's got to be worth it, I think. And I got to get to my question pane. I lost my mouse. Oh my, okay, it's coming back. You're going to bear with me. Can you see that I'm, okay. There it is. All right. So, does anyone have any question? I'm going to power through these. Okay, I think, Jessica, for how to keep your team active, I think that, you know, the exercise I took you with about bookings, I think that that's a great exercise when you're talking to consultants who can't get bookings. Test their belief. Have conversations about their belief. Get them to host their own party again. You can host your own party all the time, although it'd be nice to move out into another circle, but until they can get bookings. let's see. I would introduce myself at a party as a consultant who is a team coordinator who is leading a group of like-minded people. I answered what would I put in the experience bags. I answered about 10 people at a party. I would put all the same things in the same bag all the time. No samples. How can I help from feeling overwhelmed? Well, I think what I would tell them is the same thing. What's the first goal you want a new consultant to do? Get excited over her kit, right? Set a date for a launch party. Hold it. So she's got to invite people to her launch party. So she might need help with words to say and work with and her Frankie list. And all she needs to focus on are the products that came in her kit. And there was a piece of paper that said, get to know your party starter kit with the description of the product and how to demo it. And that is it. We have a very simple business. It just needs simple instruction, simple conversation, simple goals. We don't need to overcomplicate it. We don't need to get lost at being a student of our business. We just need to get out there and do it. Yes, I'm going to consultant. I'm hosting the first timer event. When a new consultant gets discouraged, what's the best way to help keep her moving forward? It depends what she's discouraged about. If it's because she can't hold parties, or she held a launch party, nobody came. You see, sometimes it's her actions or her lack of action. So if she says, I just can't get any parties, I'm not sure this is for me. Turn it around and hear her talk by saying, tell me the things you've done so far. So she tells you about her launch party. Then say to her, how do you feel that worked for you? Knowing what you know now, is there anything you would do different? In other words, when someone says, I'm discouraged, it's not for me, I'm done, they're looking to be let off the hook because they feel disappointed. But who are they really disappointed in? Norwex? You? No. They probably are disappointed because they may not be comfortable yet with having to learn something or knowing what it's like to stumble sometimes. Maybe everything in life was perfect for them. Maybe they knew how to play the piano since the day they were born and they never had to practice at the piano. So we just help people get comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. All right, I will be at the first timer event. You have all been fabulous. This has been recorded and I will be sure to have it sent out to you. I just have to stop recording. I will have it sent out to you in the playback so that if there was a part that you really liked, I know what part I really liked, the experience bags, that you can listen to it again and again. So thank you for your time. I so appreciate it. Bye for now.